Alright, my correspondent, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depending on the time una take watch this video. Una welcome to Anointed Lady TV. As we don come back to sama una the update to that outside the country. My people, another one don sup and it don't happen as the several major opposition parties led by the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the African Democratic Congress (ADC don reach a landmark agreement to make sure say they get a single presidential candidate for the 2027 general election. The resolution wey dem know as the Ibadan Declaration happened on April 25, 2026 during their high-level opposition summit hosted by Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde for Ibadan. Wetin cause dis agreement or their goal for dis thing wey dem wan do now na to prevent vote fragmentation and to create a formidable front against the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). And the people wey at ten d dis Ibadan Declaration include the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, 2023 Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, former Kano Governor Rabiu, and former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amaechi. The coalition don reportedly adopt the African Democratic Congress (ADC) as their vehicle for this alliance, as dem appoint former Senate President David Mark as the appointed interim national chairman of the ADC to lead this effort, as dem don demand say make the INEC chairman Professor Joash Amopita to resign because of say him dey biased towards the ruling party. So I go leave una make una watch this video and other things wey dey sup for inside the country.
Where the other faction of the PDP met with the second faction. So these guys agreed to field one candidate. This is to say that while Tinubu is busy gathering all the 36 governors to his own party, ADC is busy merging up with other opposition parties in Nigeria. Obviously, this 2027 election is going to be something else, because if these guys can come together and field one candidate against Tinubu in this forthcoming election by 2027, this will be very much difficult for Tinubu to scale through, despite the fact that this man cannot easily give up. But obviously, it is not going to be easy. On the other hand, we are going to have issue in the ADC. If Baba Atiku refuses to step aside, we cannot ask him to step down, but he's an elder statesman. Looking at his age and how many times he have come up to contest so far, Baba need to go and rest. If he can come out and support Obi and Kwankwaso, I don't think there will be any other problem that this people will be facing in ADC. Yes, because if this man can step aside and allow Obi and Kwankwaso, which is trending now, if you look at the atmosphere, that is what is trending now. Okay, ticket, that is Obi and Kwankwaso ticket. If these two can come out against Tinubu in this forthcoming election, you can tell better what will happen. Following what is happening now by opposition parties coming together to fight one candidate against Tinubu in 2027 election. Guys, do you think that Tinubu is going to survive this?
You get something wey dey happen now, something dey happen. All the opposition parties, all of them don't come together. They want to bring out one candidate. All of them want to bring out one candidate to face APC. This is no be say ADC go dey different, this one go PDP go dey different, all this thing. They want to come out together now. All of them want to join hands together, fight APC. Because 2027 now, Nigerians versus APC. And all the political parties, all of them don't come together to come do all the political parties in Nigeria versus APC. Now what do we want? Because we need stronger power to comot these people. Because these people are too strong. They get everything. They get the governors, they get the senators, they get the rep, they get everything, even judiciary, they get them. So we need to come together, come be people versus the government. Because if not, we know they win them all. And at the year Kebu say na P2B they go bring out. And now waiting be the best. Bring out P2B, everybody will come support P2B. We go pursue these people. You know, go even reach 12 p.m. in the afternoon. APC don't lose the election. You know that kind of thing. The election no go even reach 4 p.m. That's where we said they vote 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. 12 p.m. like this, APC go just call the candidate and tell them say, we don't concede defeat. Because this thing go there clear. You know how that 2015 election day, where Goodluck call Buhari for phone. Now so Tinubu go call P2B for phone for 2027. If all the parties come together, Nigerians come together, fight these people. Tinubu go carry phone. Tinubu will get ego. He go carry phone, call P2B for phone. Don't worry. Now what I want to make you do? Everybody come together, fight these people, comot them. Because Nigeria they sink. If you leave these people come 2027, all of us go sink, guys. All of us go sink for 2027 because tax never enter. All these things where Tinubu they do warm up, they do gym. Wait for what he go do for 2027. Because this thing what they do now na just preamble. This thing na just starting. You know that way we say they eat appetizer before you can eat the main meal. This one what we they do now, this shege now na just appetizer. We just they warm up. Because the one wey dey come, na times 5 of this one wey you dey see so. Because nothing new wey go happen. Because nothing new wey go happen. Wetin go change? Wetin Tinubu, which policy Tinubu wan bring wey go change the one wey dey now? Nothing dey there. Only thing wey Tinubu dey find na how to collect money, how tax, anything tax, revenue, or to go borrow money. Don't finish like that. Nothing again. There is no policy now wey Tinubu go put in place to improve the lives of Nigerians. Anything wey you go put in place na something wey go improve the money wey government dey spend. You don finish. Wetin be this? No be this thing, no be government o. We dey sinking ship. You no wan make Nigeria sink, you go vote out this government. Vote out APC and save Nigerians. Vote out APC and save everybody. If not, we go dey here o. Go dey here. Tinubu go carry tax come 2027. I no even wan make Nigerians dey pay tax because one thing wey we dey enjoy for this country, Tinubu don remove am. That first subsidy na the only thing wey we dey enjoy. And if you check petrol, petrol follow for the drivers of economy. If petrol price dey high, you know say everything for economy go dey high. Price go dey high because you know say cost of production dey affect the price of that particular product. So everything dey revolve around petrol. And that petrol na be wetin Tinubu go remove the subsidy wey dey inside, wey Nigerians dey enjoy, wey make fuel dey that price wey e dey before. Tinubu don comot am. So for now, everybody just dey suffer. And you come now, come say you go give us tax 2027. Say people go come dey pay tax again. They join the one wey you remove o. Okay, wetin we come dey enjoy for the government? You go tell us make we just dey manage, make everybody dey manage. But una no dey manage. Una dey spend money anyhow, but come tell the citizens to manage. Wetin we dey manage?
I remember the fact that, as your state governor said, Ibadan was a place where the fight for democracy saw its head. Operation Wait Here and all of that was that fight to ensure that democracy held in Nigeria's early days. But more importantly, Ibadan was where the whole movement for self-government had its root. So it was an appropriate place to have that declaration about a commitment of opposition politicians to rescue Nigeria in the face of what seems to be creeping fascism, pressure to go into a one-party state, and all the shenanigans that have tried to disrupt multi-party democracy in Nigeria, with party activities being disrupted, the courts being used to abuse democratic processes and all of that. So it was very significant. It was symbolic to show that there are people who are willing to, lay down their egos, their ambitions, so that Nigeria may prevail, which is something that is so important to happen. Some of us who not only came out of Ibadan in the 60s and saw the Agbekoya riots and all of that, but who were in the front line, if you may, of the fight for democracy in Nigeria after the June 12 elections were aborted, are scandalized that our democracy is in a worse shape now than it has ever been. And are proud to be associated with others to say we must restore democracy in Nigeria now. So that statement was a statement about the importance of democracy in Nigeria. That's the most important statement that was made in Ibadan. So Nigerians are committed to the democratic process. We don't want to install kings. We don't need KBACs. We want a people concerned about the people. And we want governments that are driven by the ordinary person's burden, more than playing up to foreign interests and all of that. And so the Ibadan Declaration was a call for national liberation, sadly, again. And I was very proud to be there. As you probably know, I gave the keynote on the economy. We hear things that are being said about how this way all of us wanted removal of subsidy. Of course, we wanted removal of what was called subsidy. 70% of what was called subsidy was corruption, pure corruption. If you came in and you took care of removing that 70% corruption, the other 30%, there are ways you will manage it, and the dignity of the human person will go into how we begin to rebuild, expand the economy and growth. I told a story in Ibadan of filling up my tank on the express just as we were about to leave Lagos. And I realized that, and I was reading some reports, the PE Save report on savings in Nigeria, saying the average Nigerian, well, 58% of us earn 100,000 naira a month or less. And it took nearly 2.5 that upper limit to fill my tank. And I thought to myself, this is the most uneven kind of economy that there is. How can we live in a society that cares so little for the weak, for the small man? And I went to Ibadan determined, saying to people there, we must return government to the people. We must have a people-centered government that cares about the people, that does not look away and buy fancy cars and private jets and presidential jets when the people are dying. Because that's what's happening. The Nigerian people are being crushed by policies that we know don't work. I mean, Steve, I'm sure you remember, I was one of the frontline people explaining structural adjustment program. I used things like the J-curve to tell the story they're telling today again about how you see the benefits down the line. And I saw it destroy the very basis of development, our educational system, our healthcare system. And I say, how can this happen twice in my lifetime? I took time off when I saw that those Washington consensus policies were not working, to go to Asia, spend time in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and those places. What did we do wrong in Nigeria? It was clear to me that we had not gotten certain things right about policy. To come now and see people repeating that and telling me the same story of have hope just completely shows that we are not governing for the people. We are governing for their interests. State capture is taking over. And the people who are politicians, if they really are truly politicians, must unite in this kind of circumstance to say enough is enough. We want a new way, we want a new path, we want a Nigeria that works for everybody.
The SAN speaking on behalf of Nigerian opposition leaders in the Nigerian Opposition Summit currently holding in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, where the opposition leaders in Nigeria have rose to a conclusion after the summit and issued a communique that the opposition parties in Nigeria will feed, and they said they will work together to feed in only one presidential candidate. That is, of course, a pair. They will have one joint ticket for the 2027 presidential elections. Of course, welcome development. For some of us, not surprised. In fact, we have been aware of this development way back last year. And the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is aware. And that's why Wike refused to defect to the APC. The defection of Wike to the APC was supposed to be a landmark one. If Wike decides to defect to the APC today, it will be a national news. Maybe it will be the biggest defection in the 2023-2027 political season. But it didn't happen because Wike needed to stay back in the PDP to weaken it. And that's why he has been using the judiciary to weaken the faction. So it has all been planned. It has been an arrangement. Even if Peter Obi has stayed back in the Labour Party and say maybe Atiku had gotten the ADC ticket, the PDP ticket, the reason why I was angry a couple of days ago, some of you did not understand, as at the plans where this was in pipeline, Goodluck Jonathan was supposed to have the PDP ticket, right? The former president. And then all of these guys will work independently. Then at some point, some weeks of the election, there will be a consensus and all of them will agree to working for one ticket, unfortunately. But Ebele Jonathan being who he is, and due respect to him, a lot of you went misunderstanding. You see, that was a betrayal of the opposition. And what you saw is a meeting with the president. What some of us know is a proper betrayal. Jonathan is supposed to be leading the Nigerian. It's unfortunate. And the man, again, this is not about Jonathan. So well done to the opposition leaders and their quest to making this happen. I know it's going to come with a lot of hurdles. I'm looking forward to it. But if we are really able to produce a joint ticket, and ask me, a lot of these persons here, you are going to hear, oh, they are the same people that put Nigeria there. It's fine. We all agree. But we have to. At the moment, no young person can defeat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Again, call it Stockholm syndrome. But we have not done actual preparation. And I've said it here. If we don't get the leadership right in 2027, it will be the end. I've said it. Taminu, Wike, Seyi Makinde, Peter Obi. Again, I'm calling my fave and calling your faves. So, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, Tinubu, Seyi, Hope Uzodinma. The people associated with them, all of them will end their political journey. By 2031, it will be a decision of the young people in Nigeria. Because we cannot have 60% population and not decide who leads us. Right? It is not about all this nonsense English about infiltrating the political parties to change it. It will be a total revolution. Whether it becomes a ballot revolution, a non-violent revolution, an ideological revolution, or a bloody revolution, somehow a revolution needs to be put in place. So whatever they need to do, they need to do. I said it. Whatever any of you need to do, do it. Both you and your children and your allies, there will be an end if we don't fix Nigeria, if we don't fix our elections and get who the people want in 2027. Of course, don't tell me that the people want this criminal that is in power. So that is even not in contention. So well done. We are hoping that you do your homework. You bring a ticket that is people serving, that is people centric, and that will solve the issues of Nigeria. We seek a new constitution. We want a people-centric government. We want to have a better value system, a culture that reprobates, that hates a lot of this bribery and corruption. People are stealing what they don't want. So all of that needs to end. And whatever the opposition leaders need to do, they are not serving us a purpose. They are not doing us. All of you have been involved. You have been part and parcel of this crashing ship. If you put your heads together to say you want to provide a qualitative ticket that could stand and challenge Bola Ahmed Tinubu and all antics that he is coming with, let's do it together. There's so much to talk about this, but I'll wait for the news to digest. This is the first information. We'll look at the other dynamics that may happen as we move forward.
Because what I'm about to say isn't noise. It's a warning. On paper, this looks like dominance, unstoppable power, a political machine firing on all cylinders, 31 governors, 85 senators, 242 members of the House. That's not control. That's total takeover. But history has taught us something dangerous about power like this. When a party becomes too big, it starts to collapse under its own weight. Let's be honest for a second. Most supporters are celebrating numbers. But numbers don't tell you loyalty. Numbers don't tell you people's intentions. And numbers don't tell you why they came in the first place. Here is the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. I'm going to say it. Most defections are not about belief. They are about survival. How do we survive? These politicians didn't just suddenly find ideology. They found where power lives. And in politics, people don't always follow vision. They follow where the food is. And this is where it gets real. Because even before the dust has settled, we're already seeing movements. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, a heavy name, a big name, not just any name, well known in northern Nigeria and loved dearly, has now defected to African Democratic Congress, ADC. Pause and think about that. This isn't just a defection. This is a signal that beneath the surface of unity, there's already repositioning happening. These politicians don't actually wait for the party to collapse. They move before the cracks becomes visible to everyone else. Here is the hidden cracks. Now imagine this. A house packed with people who don't trust each other. A room full of ambition with no shared loyalty. A system where everyone is smiling or calculating. That's not unity. That's temporary alliance of convenience. And alliances like that don't last because sooner or later, someone feels cheated. Someone feels sidelined. Someone realizes they were used. And when that happens, the same space they used to enter, they used to exit. And here is where it gets even more interesting. The next election is not going to be APC versus opposition. It's going to be APC versus APC. Why? Because 90% of those defectors, they didn't come to build. They came to secure their political future. gain access to power, position themselves for the next move. And when the time comes, they won't fight the opposition first. They will fight each other. Power struggles are already brewing quietly. You can't have many powerful individuals in one space without conflict. It's inevitable. Too many interests, too many egos, too many future presidential ambitions. And when the cracks begins to show, they won't be small. They will be loud. They will be public. They will be messy. Because when politicians feel threatened, they don't stay loyal. They break ranks. What this means for the next election is that you should expect not a smooth, unified political machine, but expect internal betrayal, strategic defections again, power blocks forming within the same party, silent wars turning into open battles, and suddenly, that strongest party, which is APC, begins to look divided. Because the real danger or threat is not the opposition, it's internal implosion. So don't always be deceived by the numbers because sometimes what looks like strength is actually pressure building. And when the pressure builds long enough, it doesn't negotiate, it explodes. The road to fragmentation has started, not loudly, not yet, but quietly, strategically, inevitably. And when it finally happens, a lot of people will pretend they didn't see it coming. But we did. The question now is not if it will happen. The real question is who will jump ship first?
My people, as this agreement dey go, so the Labour Party LP leadership don retire herself from the summit with their interim chairman stating say the party no officially dey part of the Ibadan agreement. Other parties including Accord and the Social Democratic Party SDP don still talk say dem no dey involved in the resolution and negotiations are still ongoing regarding who go lead the ticket, as e be say current significant pressure from some camps for an Obi Nwankwoso ticket while others continue to support Atiku Abubakar. My people, who una think for inside Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar, who dey likely to emerge as the consensus candidate for this new coalition? Just drop am for the comment section. My people, make una no forget to like, share, subscribe, and make you no forget to turn on your notification bell in case if you drop any other updates. Na you go be the first person wey go lis ten to am. Stay tuned till I come your way again.